From flickering firesides to silver screens, we humans have always been drawn to scary stories. The allure of the unknown, the thrill of the unseen, and the excitement of the unexpected have always captivated our imaginations. Whether it's the ghost stories whispered around a campfire or the chilling tales projected onto a silver screen, the desire to be scared is a universal human experience. It is not something you can experience lightly. There's a primal thrill in being frightened, a rush of adrenaline that awakens something deep within us. This fear, while often uncomfortable, is also exhilarating. It reminds us of our vulnerability, our humanity, and our instinctual need to survive. The pounding heart, the quickened breath, the widened eyes, all these physical reactions are part of the experience that makes horror so compelling. But what happens when these tales are told not with flesh and blood, but with ink and paint? When the boundaries of reality are stretched and the impossible becomes possible? Animation, with its limitless potential, offers a unique canvas for horror. It allows creators to bring to life the most fantastical and terrifying visions, unbound by the constraints of the physical world. What happens when the monsters under the bed take shape in the animated world, when the shadows that lurk in the corners of our minds are given form and substance? The result is a type of horror that is both familiar and alien, tapping into our deepest fears while presenting them in a way that is entirely new. The answer, it seems, is something altogether more unsettling. Animated horror has the power to disturb in ways that live-action horror cannot. The exaggerated expressions, the surreal landscapes, and the fluid movements all contribute to a sense of unease that is uniquely its own. Animated horror, with its vibrant colors and seemingly innocent facade, possesses a unique power to disturb. The contrast between the bright, cheerful visuals and the dark, sinister themes creates a jarring dissonance that can be profoundly unsettling. It's this unexpected juxtaposition that makes animated horror so effective. It taps into the uncanny valley, where the familiar becomes strange and the innocent takes on a sinister edge. The human-like figures that populate animated horror often straddle the line between the real and the unreal, creating a sense of discomfort that is hard to shake. This unexpected juxtaposition of childhood imagery and adult fears creates a dissonance that can be profoundly unsettling. The toys and characters that once brought comfort and joy are transformed into objects of terror, forcing us to confront the darker aspects of our own psyches. The animated world, by its very nature, is unbound by the constraints of reality. It can take us to places that live action cannot, twisting and morphing before our eyes. The fluidity of animation allows for a level of creativity and imagination that is unparalleled, making it the perfect medium for exploring the darkest corners of our minds. It can take us to places that live action cannot, twisting and morphing before our eyes. The ability to seamlessly transition between the real and the surreal, the mundane and the fantastical, is one of the greatest strengths of animated horror. It allows for a level of unpredictability that keeps us on the edge of our seats. This freedom allows creators to explore the darkest corners of our imagination, giving life to creatures and nightmares that would be impossible to realize in any other medium. The monsters that inhabit animated horror are often more terrifying because they are not bound by the laws of physics or logic. They can be as grotesque, as twisted, and as horrifying as our minds can conceive. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of animated horror is its ability to linger long after the credits roll. The images burned into our minds continue to haunt us, blurring the line between fantasy and reality. The vividness of the animation makes it difficult to forget, and the surreal nature of the visuals can make us question what is real and what is not. The images burned into our minds continue to haunt us, blurring the line between fantasy and reality. We find ourselves replaying the scenes in our heads, unable to shake the feeling of unease. The power of animated horror lies in its ability to leave a lasting impression, to make us question the world around us. We find ourselves questioning the shadows in our own homes, wondering if the things that go bump in the night might be more than just figments of our imagination. The line between the animated world and the real world becomes blurred, and we are left to wonder if the horrors we have witnessed might somehow find their way into our reality. The allure of animated horror lies in its ability to captivate, to terrify, and to leave us questioning the very nature of our existence. Animated stories, with their bright colors and whimsical characters, are often associated with childhood innocence. These vibrant scenes and playful characters create a world that feels safe and comforting. We grow up watching cartoons, finding comfort and laughter in their familiar formulas. The playful antics of animated animals and the adventures of cartoon children become a staple of our early years. Families gather around the TV, sharing moments of joy and laughter as they watch these animated tales unfold. The predictability of these stories, where good always triumphs over evil, reinforces a sense of security. But what happens when these familiar narratives take a dark turn? When the cheerful cartoon transitions into something more sinister, it catches us off guard. What happens when the cheerful music fades and the shadows begin to lengthen? The once bright and colourful world starts to feel eerie and unsettling. This subversion of expectations, this shattering of our childhood illusions, lies at the heart of animated horror's effectiveness. It plays on our deep-seated beliefs about the safety and predictability of animation. We are conditioned to believe that animation is safe, a realm where good always triumphs and happy endings are guaranteed. The bright smiles of cartoon heroes and the cheerful settings reinforce this belief. Animated horror plays on this expectation, lulling us into a false sense of security before ripping the rug out from under our feet. The sudden dark twist, where animated characters find themselves in peril, is both shocking and disorienting. The sudden shift in tone, the jarring realization that things are not as they seem, can be deeply unsettling. The contrast between the familiar and the frightening heightens the impact of the horror. This sense of betrayal is amplified by the fact that animated characters, with their exaggerated features and simplified designs, are often more relatable than their live-action counterparts. Their wide eyes and innocent faces draw us in, making their experiences feel personal. We see ourselves in their wide eyes and innocent smiles, which makes their descent into darkness all the more disturbing. The transformation from innocence to terror is a powerful narrative tool. Their pain becomes our pain, their fear becomes our fear. The emotional connection we feel with these characters makes their suffering resonate deeply with us. The use of animation also allows creators to explore taboo subjects and disturbing imagery in a way that would be impossible in live action. The medium's flexibility enables the depiction of abstract and surreal horrors that challenge our perceptions. The stylized nature of animation can make the grotesque more palatable, allowing us to confront our deepest fears without feeling overwhelmed. The artistic choices in animation can transform the horrifying into something visually compelling. It's a delicate balancing act, but when done well, it can result in truly unforgettable horror. The combination of familiar animation styles with unexpected and terrifying twists creates a unique and lasting impact. Animated horror often blends genres, mixing elements of fantasy, thriller, and psychological horror to create a rich and layered experience. This blending of genres keeps the audience on their toes, never quite sure what to expect next. Through these stories, we see animated characters facing their fears and overcoming challenges, mirroring our own struggles and triumphs. This relatability adds depth to the horror, making it more than just a scare but a reflection of our own experiences. Iconic moments in animated horror stay with us long after the screen goes dark. The lasting impact of these stories is a testament to the power of animation to evoke strong emotions and provoke thought. The creators of animated horror continue to push boundaries, experimenting with new techniques and storytelling methods. Their innovation keeps the genre fresh and exciting, constantly evolving to surprise and engage audiences. Audience reactions to animated horror are often intense, with viewers experiencing a wide range of emotions. The medium's ability to evoke such strong responses is a testament to its effectiveness in storytelling. Animated horror is not just entertainment, it is an art form that reflects and influences culture. Its impact can be seen in various aspects of media and society, highlighting its significance beyond the screen. As we continue to explore the depths of animated horror, we uncover new layers of meaning and emotion. This genre, with its unique blend of innocence and terror, will undoubtedly continue to captivate and challenge us for years to come. Take, for instance, the chilling tale of Coraline, a stop-motion masterpiece that plunges us headfirst into a world of button-eyed nightmares. Coraline, a curious and headstrong young girl, discovers a secret passage in her new home, a passage that leads to a seemingly idyllic world. This other world, a twisted reflection of her own, offers everything Coraline has ever desired. Attentive parents, delicious food and endless entertainment. But beneath the surface of this sugary sweet facade lurks something sinister. The other mother, a button-eyed entity with an insatiable appetite for children's souls, presides over this world. She offers Coraline a Faustian bargain, stay in this perfect world forever, but at the cost of replacing her eyes with buttons. Coraline, initially seduced by the other mother's promises, soon realizes the true nature of her predicament. The other world, once alluring, transforms into a prison of her own making. The once enchanting inhabitants reveal their true forms, grotesque creatures with hollow eyes and unsettling smiles. One of the most terrifying aspects of Coraline is the other mother's transformation. This transformation is not just a physical change, but a psychological one that deeply impacts Coraline and the audience alike. She begins as a comforting figure, a seemingly perfect maternal substitute for Coraline's neglectful parents. Her demeanor is warm, her voice soothing, and her actions appear to be filled with genuine care and affection. Her appearance, while slightly off-putting with her button eyes, is not inherently frightening. These button eyes, though unusual, are initially perceived as a quirky characteristic, adding to her mysterious charm. But as Coraline delves deeper into the other world, the other mother's true nature is slowly revealed. The facade of kindness begins to crack, exposing a sinister and malevolent being lurking beneath. Her skin, once smooth and pale, becomes taut and grey, stretched thin over her skeletal frame. This transformation is gradual, making it all the more horrifying as we witness her true form emerge. Her fingers elongate, transforming into sharp claws that click and clack against the floorboards. These claws are not just physical weapons, but symbols of her predatory nature, ready to ensnare Coraline. Her button eyes, once a quirky characteristic, become windows into her soullessness, reflecting a cold, calculating intelligence. These eyes now seem to pierce through Coraline, revealing the other mother's true intentions. This gradual transformation is far more effective than any sudden monster reveal. It builds a sense of dread and anticipation, making the horror feel more real and inevitable. It preys on our innate fear of the uncanny, the unsettling feeling that something familiar has been subtly altered, twisted into something monstrous. This fear is deeply rooted in our psyche, making the transformation all the more disturbing. The other mother becomes a symbol of corrupted innocence, a reminder that even the most comforting figures can harbor dark secrets. This duality makes her a compelling and terrifying antagonist. The stop-motion animation style amplifies the horror. The meticulous craftsmanship involved in creating each frame adds a tangible, almost tactile quality to the scenes, making the horror feel more immediate and real. The characters, with their jerky movements and lifeless eyes, possess an inherent eeriness. These movements, though subtle, contribute to the overall sense of unease, making the characters seem like puppets controlled by unseen forces. The painstaking detail of the animation, the way the other mother's needle-like fingers twitch and grasp, adds a visceral layer of realism to the horror. Each movement is deliberate, enhancing the sense of dread and anticipation. We are not watching a cartoon. We are witnessing a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. This nightmare is crafted with such precision and care that it leaves a lasting impression, haunting us long after the story ends. During a routine lockdown drill, the atmosphere turned eerie. The lights flickered and a chilling wind swept through the halls. Suddenly, students and teachers began to act strangely, their eyes turning black as they became possessed by an unknown force. One by one, they succumbed to the darkness, their bodies collapsing lifelessly to the ground. The school was left in silence, haunted by the spirits of those who perished in the drill gone wrong. This scene, though seemingly disconnected from Coraline, echoes the themes of possession and transformation found in the movie. Just as the other mother's true nature is revealed, the school drill unveils a hidden malevolence lurking in a familiar setting. The sudden shift from routine to horror mirrors Coraline's journey from curiosity to terror. The possessed students and teachers, with their blackened eyes, serve as a stark reminder of the other mother's button eyes, both symbols of lost humanity and control. The haunting atmosphere of the school, with its flickering lights and chilling wind, parallels the eerie ambience of the other world. The silence that follows the possession is a grim counterpart to the unsettling quiet of Coraline's alternate reality. This scene reinforces the idea that horror can lurk in the most ordinary places, transforming them into nightmarish landscapes. Both the drill and the other mother's transformation tap into our primal fears, the loss of control, the corruption of innocence, and the uncanny. These fears are universal, making the horror in Coraline and the school drill scene resonate deeply with the audience. By drawing these parallels, we see how the themes of possession and transformation are not confined to one story, but are pervasive in the genre of animated horror. The meticulous attention to detail in the animation of Coraline, with its tactile realism, finds a counterpart in the vivid description of the school drill's eerie transformation. Both create a sense of immediacy and dread, leaving a lasting impact. The haunting spirits in the school and the other mother's monstrous form are testaments to the power of animated horror to evoke deep-seated fears and create unforgettable experiences. As we reflect on these scenes, we're reminded that horror, whether in the form of a lockdown drill gone wrong or a button-eyed nightmare, holds a mirror to our deepest anxieties, transforming the mundane into the macabre.